YouTube, what the crap's going on? Norsca here, and yes, Norsca will be getting some updates when Immortal Empires drops, and that is pretty exciting. Norsca has needed some updates. Now, right off the front, I want to cover this here and say that later on in what we're discussing, CA basically, they admit that this is not a full rework of Norsca, and they essentially leave the door open to say that they're potentially doing one. Now, I don't want to say that they are doing one. That's what it sounds like to me. They didn't directly commit to that, but you'll see what I mean. Anyway, Norsca needs some updates, and they are going to get some. And so in the blog where they talked about this, the key takeaway that they want you to know with the changes to Norsca is that no longer is Norsca going to be the faction that just builds outposts. They're going to be able to build full settlements wherever they settle. And basically they admit that Norsca had a pretty tumultuous entry into the series. I don't know if you all remember or not. They came late in Game 1. Their code and updates and everything were difficult for them to port over to Game 2, so they were late coming to Game 2, and then they've just kind of always felt out of place in Game 2. The design decisions that fit Game 1 just didn't really mix into Game 2. So Norsca got a slow start anyway, and they didn't get a whole lot of changes, and they didn't pick up any Lord DLCs either. So they are lacking, and any updates are appreciated. So let's get into those updates. First of all, they're adding devotion to the gods. I say adding, it's already there. They're reworking it. So essentially, they want to make the rewards more exciting. And they go through some examples. If you do full dedication to the Crow, so remember with Norsca, when you destroy an enemy settlement, you can dedicate the ruins to one of the Chaos Gods. So if you go full to Crow, you end up joined by an exalted great unclean one called Purple Smirk Spew Spit. So you can get a unique lord. If you do the same thing but for Khorne to the Hound, right, then you get Kilgore Slay Maim, an exalted hero of Khorne. It says all reward characters grant their army an incredibly powerful boon that twists their battle profile to align closer to the Dark God's ideal forces. And it gives an example. Azric's forces enjoy access to barriers, magical weapons, and global winds of magic generation benefits. So, and they also mention here that the Iceforge Legion is gone as one of the rewards for the gift to the Hound, or the dedication to the Hound. And they do mention that the Iceforge Legion is going to be coming back as a regiment of renown, so not to worry, it isn't gone altogether. Now, Norsca now has commandments. They've got a full set of commandments since they're going to be having more settlements. When it comes to resources, Norsca can now construct buildings to exploit almost all the resources so that they can get local or global business. And then as far as capital targets, with the new forces of order and new cities to raise, there's unique benefits. The Kugan Horde, it says the Kugan Hordes have never taken Wage In. Perhaps they only lacked a unifying Iron Fist. And there's a big question mark. So clearly they've got some changes here that they don't go into extreme detail about, but these are going to be some nice changes to Norsca. And then at the very end here, I'll read you their exact words to kind of cover what I was getting at earlier. It says, to tie this off, let's head off the question in everyone's mind. No, this is not the Norsca rework. These changes are about freeing Norsca from the shackles of their outpost and giving them a taste of new fresh powers of the Dark Gods of Warhammer 3. It says, like the rest of Immortal Empires, this is just the beginning, a foundation upon which to build and make future tweaks to different factions. So to me, that very much sounds like we can expect a rework to Norsca because they are specifically saying, nope, that's not what this is. And we have not yet seen DLC for Norsca, but these are some nice changes. I think they're going to be important changes into making sure that Norsca is still relevant. In Game 3, their campaign will be fun to play from the day that IE launches. I mean, it seems almost certain at this point that we have to see some DLC for Norsca, like Lords and stuff eventually, because they only have 2, and they're pretty much one of the only factions out there, if not the only one that has 2 Legendary Lords, other than the brand new ones in Game 3, right, where we expect that. So no other faction's been around for as long as Norsca without having more Lords added. The Widows and Beastmen finally pulled themselves out of that one not that long ago. But anyway, I'm excited about the change to Norsca. Hopefully you all are too. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Make sure to get down in the comments and tell me what you think of the changes. And then what would you like to see in a Norsca rework? What would make them absolutely amazing? Would love to see that from you all as well. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope you all enjoyed it. And you can use this news to get yourself prepared for Immortal Empires coming next month.